Kadosh Boker Or Masechet Sotah Daf Gimel Amud Aleph 3A1 says the Gemara Alma Kasavre. So you see from here that the difference between Resh Lakish and Rav Yamar, right? That they're both saying that the lashon of kinui is placing kin'ah. Alma Kasavre. So you see from here that they hold the sulekanot, that you're not allowed to do kinui. Uman de amar mutar lekanot. But according to the mandamar, that you're allowed to do kinui. Because remember, if the entire thing of kinui brings jealousy between the husband and the wife, so why would you do that? Doesn't make sense. You're starting problems. So he says, Uman de amar mutar lekanot, ma lashon kinah. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, ken kinui lashon hatra'ah. It's a warning. And it also says in a pasuk, Vaykaneh Hashem le'artzo. That Hashem came and he was warning, right, with Arbeh, to do with his land. Okay, there's talking about that the Navi Oziel was saying the Makat Arbeh is going to make everything like dark of Eretz Yisrael, and that's exactly what happened. So first you give them a warning, and then afterwards you come and you do that. So that's what it means. So Lashon Kinui is not Lashon Kin'ah, jealousy, but rather a warning. Okay? Tanya, we learned in the Braita, Rabbi used to say, Adam over avera baseter, v'Hakadosh Baruch Hu machriz b'gedolut. You know, a person could do an avera privately, but Hakadosh Baruch Hu mentions it publicly. Right? He comes and he announces it publicly. Shneimar b'zez pasuk, ish t'nisei shto v'ne'lam isha v'avar elav ruach kinah, which means that even though she went and she did it in a hiding form against her husband, he comes and he does it publicly. Ve'en avira ela lashon achraza. When it says over there ve'avar elav ruach kinah, it means that it was achraza, that he was machriz ruach kinah, that he comes and he mentions it in front of everybody. Shneimar, Vayitzav Moshe v'yaviru kol mamachaneh. Moshe Rabbeinu commanded, and they passed the voice throughout the congregation. So you see from here that a person, mamash, they do an avera, Hakadosh Baruch Hu will come and publicize it. He thought he was doing it privately, nobody heard, nobody saw, nobody. No. Hakadosh Baruch Hu comes and he shows it to everybody. So he says, Resh Lakish Amar. Resh Lakish says, En adam over avera lemken nichnas bo ruach shtut. A person will not do an avera unless it came in ruach shtut. Shneimar ish ki tiste ishto tiste ketiv. So when it's written tiste, right, you could read it with a tiste, not tishte. Right, lashon shtut. That means instead of tiste, right, it really could be written tishte. That it's really be'emet shtut, right, but it's shin tet, right, shtut. That means basically when a person has this ruach shtut come into them, that's when they come and they do an avera. That's what we spoke about, the entire concept, that when a person does an avera, ke'ilu, it's like an animalistic form comes into them. And that's why this is the ruach shtut, that they're not thinking like a human being. And that's why they bring a korban to say that action, they were like an animal. Why? Because be'emet, if they were a human being, they wouldn't have done such an action. It's to right, we learned to the Kalam of Ishmael. Mipnei ma'amina Torah le'ed echad besotah. Right? Why is it that be'emet the Torah believed one ed in this case? At the end of the day, in the Sotah, why do we believe one ed? Sheyesh raglaim l'davar she'lekinah lav nistera ve'edecha mida she'itmea. There's raglaim l'davar. He gave her already the kinui. She did the stira, right? And now there's one witness that comes and he says that she's tmea. So because of that, the Torah is going to believe this one witness. Okay? Comes in with the bicycle. Right? Amar le Rav Papa la Abaye. Says Rav Papa to Abaye. V'akiktiva kinui. 1 second. When it's written kinui, batar stira v'tuma u'dechtiva. It's only written after the stira and tuma. So what's going on over there? Right? Which means that the edut of edechad and the tuma should be accepted even if there was no kinui before then. So Elmaleh says no, ve'avar alav ruach kinah, kvar avar. There was already a ruach kinah, so that means it already had to be that the guy already did the kinui. Okay, so they're going to ask that everyone's going to pass in front. It should be also the same thing, right? Obviously, there when it says ve'avar, right, it's not the kavanah that because they didn't still cross the Jordan River. It's not that they already did it; they already crossed the Jordan River to go into Israel. So says hatam there. It's written that first you're going to conquer the land in front of Hashem, and then afterwards you're going to come back. Mashma de la'aba, it's mashma in the future. But here, if you're going to think it's v'avar lav ruach kinah, batar tuma stira, so kinu lamali. If she already had stira, and there was already one witness that she had she committed adultery, So why in the world are you going to do kinui now? It's already too late, right? After it's done, now you're going to do kinui. Huh? אין אדם מקנא לאשתו, אלא אם כן נכנסה בו רוח, שנאמר ועבר עליו רוח קנאה וקנא את אשתו. What does that mean? A person will never do kinui to his wife unless there's some type of a ruach that came into his mind. So it says, what ruach now? A banana ruach tum'ah. It's a ruach from the Satan that comes to make the husband sin. So he wants to start the fight between the husband and the wife. But Rav Ashi says the opposite. It's a ruach ta'ara. It's a ruach ta'ara because he's going to hate plitzut so much. He's going to hate the how could she be like promiscuous or coquette or all these things. It's a ruach ta'ara. It's more logical to say that it's like ruach ta'ara. The Tanya was learned on Braita. V'kinet ishto reshut. According to Rabbi Ishmael, the kinui is a reshut. Meaning, if you want, you could do it. But Rabbi Kiva Omer, yamarta bishlama chova, it's an obligation. Yamarta bishlama, if you're going to tell me now that it's going to be good to what? Ruach ta'ara, shapir, it's an obligation. But if you're going to tell me it's a ruach tumah, reshut v'chova, le'elu nishe ruach tumah m'nashe, I don't understand. If right now it's a ruach tumah, you're going to start arguing, no, it's a reshut if you're allowed to do kinui, or it's a chova. It's a ruach tumah. Well, it's a reshut and a chova to do ruach tumah. If it's going to be a ruach tahara, so then you could understand, but not without that. So gufa, we also wanted to mention v'kinet ishto reshut. Rabbi Kiva omer chova. Reshut, right? Why does it say reshut? La hitama. So when it says la hitama, that the kohen that he could become tameh to his sister, it says la to her. Hitama, he could become tameh, so it's reshut. Rabbi Kiva says it's going to be chova. Leolam ba'em ta'avodu. You have to work on unto a slave forever. You can never let him go. Reshut, Rabbi Ishmael. Right? Rabbi Kiva says chova. Right? Amaleh of Papa Labai says of Papa to Abaye. The Amnila and some people say Rabbi Mishashel Rava. Leima Rabbi Ishmael Rabbi Kiva. What, they argue on everything? That means whenever it's written anything in the Torah, there's a machloka whether it's reshut or chova. The more amar reshut, more amar chova. Amaleh says no. Hacha v'krep here. There's a machloket in actual psukim. Right? What does it mean the psukim? Rabbi Ishmael and Rabbi Kiva are arguing in the explanation of the psukim for different reasons. Okay, and now we're going to explain each one of those machlokas. V'kinet ishto reshut. These are the words of Rabbi Ishmael. Rabbi Kiva says chova. My time, what's the reasoning of Rabbi Ishmael? Savlaketana yolzek v'sayin tzedek v'lemt on the brighter. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says klapeh she'amra Torah lo tisna et achicha bilvavecha. Since it says in the Torah you're not allowed to hate your brother in your heart. Yachol gonzu. I would have thought to say that the same thing. That means when the husband sees that she's going against sniut, so it's a sur for the Baal to do kina because he's bringing. Meaning, we would tell him, listen, you have to do shalom. You're not supposed to do kinui. She's being a prutza. She's being very promiscuous. Doesn't matter. Tamulomar comes teach you. He's allowed to come and he's allowed to do the kinui. But again, you're allowed to. Rabbi Akiva, why does it say it's a chova? It's already written in another pasuk. So for the fact that it's already written in the second time is teaching you that the kinui is a chova to do the kinui. Rabbi Ishmael. Now we're going to go to the other one, right? Rabbi Ishmael, since he already had to be written that she was tameh or not tameh, it's always also written the second time around. The kinet ishto. Any parasha was written and it was repeated. It was repeated only to teach you something new. Okay. Second case, la itama, the kohen becomes tameh to his sister. La itama reshut. These are the words of Rabbi Ishmael. Rabbi Kiva says, chova, my time Ishmael, what's the reason of Ishmael? I did since it's written, you're not allowed to become tameh to anybody. It's sichla michtav, so therefore you had to say, la itama, that he could become tameh to the sister. So it's a reshut. You're allowed to become tameh to the sister.
When she dies.
Yes, obviously. Right, a kohen could become tameh to the sister, not married sister. Yeah, when she dies. So says the Gemara, not married. If she's married, that's it. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Kiva, according to Rabbi Kiva, that he says it's chova to become tameh to the married sister, to the non-married sister. So he says, Kim li shero nafka. He learns it from Lim li shero, which means once it says lenefesh kim li shero to his family members, basically to his wife or family members. So la itama. Why do I need then la itama? You could say if he has to become tameh to the family members, which is li shero, his skin. So therefore, right? Why do you need the word la itama? To teach you chova. Rabbi Ishmael, according to Rabbi Ishmael, la metameh, he could only become tameh to her. Mitameh, but he cannot become tameh to her body parts. Meaning, that if it's not the full body, he does not become tameh to his sister. Gimel amubet. Rabbi Akiva, and according to Rabbi Akiva, im ken if so, lichtov rachman Allah velishto. It should have only been written la. They should have kept quiet. Itama lamali. Why do we need the word itama? Shemamina comes teach you that it's a chova, right, to become tameh. But Rabbi Shmuel, according to Rabbi Shmuel, dichtiv la, since it's written la, dichtiv dami itama, it's also written itama. It's something that was already taught, and therefore, right, the rest is just sipuya lashon. Okay. Next, third case. Leolam ba'em ta'avodu. It says reshut. Rabbi Akiva omer chova. Ma'ita mishmei what's with Mishmael? You're not allowed to let these 7 nations live in Israel. So you have to teach them. You could work them for the rest of their lives. That means basically, if you have one of these 7 nations that they have relations with a Canaanite and then they have a child, you're allowed to acquire them and have them forever. Tanya was willing to the Braita. How do we know that when you have one of the nations that had a relation with a Canaanite and had a child, that you're allowed to acquire him like a slave? I would have thought to say maybe the opposite. Even if you have a Canaanite that has relations with the Omot and had a child, that you're allowed to purchase them as a slave. Only for those which are born in your land, not the ones which are living in your land. So because of that, it comes out that they go after the Canaanim and you're not allowed to make them live. So it's mifurash in the Braita that a child which is born from a mother Canaanite and the father from other nations, you're allowed to acquire him like a slave and let him live. And that's why you had to permit it. Leolam bahem ta'avodu. But according to Rabbi Akiva, what happens? He learns that out from that you're allowed to purchase them. So it says, so why do I need the leolam bahem ta'avodu? Lamali, lechovat, teach you chova. Rabbi Shmuel, according to Rabbi Shmuel, bahem, when it's written, bahem ta'avodu lo bechem, it's only on them and not on Eved Ivri. Because Eved Ivri, you have to let him out free. Rabbi Akiva, according to Rabbi Akiva, bachem seifa dikaran. You learn from the end. When it says there you learn it's not, you're not allowed to do leolam bahem ta'avodu. Rabbi Shmuel, according to Rabbi Shmuel, once it's written v'achechem tivnami bahem, it's written leolam bahem ta'avodu. Rabbi Shmuel, the Tana Shmuel kol b'shashim v'nishal lo nishbel midbar shir davar shenitchadesh ba. Amar Rav Chasta. We're halfway down. Okay, so it says in the Gemara we're 2 or 3 lines above. Okay, Amar Rav Chasta, let's say 4 lines before it gets wide. Amar Rav Chasta, zinuta beveta kikaria leshum shema. Zinut in the house is like a tola'at to shumshum, which means just like the tola'at devours the shumshum, the sesames, or right, the seeds, so too znut destroys the house. Okay, the Amar Rav Chasta says Rav Chasta tukva beveta. Kaas in the house is the same thing. It destroys the house. So when you have kaas in the house, it destroys it. Idi v'idi, and both are talking about be'itita, to do with the woman, which means that if she's mizana or she's kaasanit, so then it's going to destroy the house. Aval begavra, but to do with the man, let lamba, it's not going to destroy the house. The Amar Rav Chasta, it says Rav Chasta. Yeah, he comes and he says the reason why is because the derech klal ena baal osek b'nihul habayit. The husband is not the one that's doing the things in the house. So therefore, also it says that obviously if the husband is doing znut, so for sure he's going to lose his riches because it says v'roel zonot yaben hon, right? However, though it doesn't destroy the house in itself, because as long as the woman she's fine, so the house is still being how do you call this? It's being run right accordingly. Okay, so even if he's going to be doing foolish things, but that's him. But if it's a woman, she's the entire house. So she's going to start doing all these nonsense. She destroys the entire house. There's nothing going to be left of the house.
The cast is not a problem.
Okay.
I'm going to say that to my wife.
The Amar Rav Chasta, and says Rav Chasta, Batechila. Yeah, don't worry about it. The wives already know. The majority of the men, they do it anyway. The Amar Rav Chasta, says Rav Chasta, בתחילה, קודם שחטאו ישראל, הייתה שכינה שורה עם כל אחד ואחד. You know that before, Bnei Israel sinned with Arayot, there was with every single person, there was what? There was the Shekhinah. Because it says in the Pasuk, Ki Hashem Elokecha, mitalech bekel machanecha. Given shechatu, once they sinned, nistalka Shekhinah mehem. The Shekhinah went away from them. Shneimar, but it says in the Pasuk, yeah, he says in the Pasuk, Velo yireh becha ervat davar, yesham me'acharecha. That once HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he doesn't want to see erva. So the second that he sees erva, yesham me'acharecha, he just turns away, he just runs away. Okay? Amar v'shmuel ben Nachman Yonatan, kol oseh mitzvah achat ba'olam hazeh. Anybody that does a mitzvah in this world, it's going to preempt him, it's going to go in front of him in olam haba. Shneimar, halach lefanecha tzidkacha. So your righteousness will walk in front of you. If somebody's going to do an avera, it's going to wrap around him and it's going to take him to the Yom Adin. Rabbi Elazar says, it's going to be attached to him like a dog. This is why what does it mean that Yosef Tzaddik, he didn't want to come and lie down with the wife of Potiphar? To lie down with her in this world, right? To be with her in the next world. So you see from here that it's not only just this world, it's this world and the next world, because it's like tied to him like a dog. It doesn't let him go if he went and he did such an avera. So that's going to be very, very important. Okay?
Sorry, what is like a dog? The mitzvah that he didn't go with her?
Not a hatam. We learned over there in the Mishnah. Somebody that he did kinui to his wife and then nistira, and one witness says that he saw that she became tmeah, so she wouldn't drink the waters, if you remember. Shaya badin, right? Because it was fitting to say, if right now the first edut, the first testimony, right, does not prohibit her unto her husband forever, and it's unless it's going to be with two witnesses. So edut acharona, so the last one, which is on the tuma, right, which does prohibit her to the wife forever, right? For sure it should be also. It can be less than two. Tamulomar comes teach you, as long as she has an ed, that's already enough. So you don't need two witnesses. One witness is already going to be enough to prohibit her. Okay, that's what we learned before. Which one? So the Gemara says, "V'kal v'chomer le'edut rishona me'atan." Now we have a kal v'chomer. U'ma edut ha'acharona, if the edut ha'acharona of the tum'ah shel sarto yisur ulam, which makes her prohibited forever, mitkayem be'ed echad, so it's going to be okay with one ed. Edut rishona, the first one, which is not as stringent, because it's not going to prohibit her forever. And shouldn't it be already one witness that already should be enough? Talmud lomar ki matzah be'ervat davar ulanu lo omer api shnei edim al pi shlosh edim yakum davar malan halan demand davar amul lehalan api shnei edim avkam pi shnei edim. You always have exerat katuv that you need two witnesses, meaning that unless it's written, you always need two witnesses. So says the Gemara, Haimi ki matzah be'ervat davar nafka. I thought he says ve'edem ba nafka. How are you learning it from matzah be'ervat davar? I thought you were learning it from ba ve'edem ba. Ba v'lo b'kinui, ba v'lo b'stira mi bale. So he says, you're right. Tamul Omar comes to issue ba velo bekinui, ba velo besira, vetuma be'alma velo kinui velo stira. Now to do a tuma be'alma and do tuma stam without kinui, without stira, de lo me'men edechad, you're not going to be believed. Menalan, how do we know? Nemar kan ki matzah b'davar, nemalana pi shnei edim, and we shlosh edim de'akum davar. Ma davar amul lehalan edim shnayim, avkan edim shnayim, which means like this: if there was no kinui stira beforehand, one witness is not believed. It's only because there's the kinuyu stira, that's why the one witness is going to be believed. So for example, nowadays, there's no such thing as kinuyu stira. And there's a witness that a woman went and committed infidelity. You don't have to believe him because he's not believed. So one witness is not believed. But if there was kinuyu stira which preceded it, again, it's not good nowadays to do kinuyu stira because you can never get out of it. Because the second that they did the stira, she has to drink the waters of the sotah. There's no waters of the sotah. What are you going to do? But right, it's going to happen is it's going to still have this concept, okay? So, Tana Rabbanan, we learned to the Braita, Ezu Yirishona, what is Eduta Rishona? So, Eduta Stira, what is Eduta Acharona? Eduta Tum'ah. This is the Edut of Tum'ah, okay?